All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the November 18th regular meeting of Warren's Historic District. We have a quorum. First item on the agenda is the approval of minutes from October 21st. Any comments or edits? Anybody want to make a motion?
I so move.
We have a
Second.
Motion by Joan, second by Carol, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next on the agenda is public comment. If anybody's here to comment about anything other than their own application, which I don't think so. Next, we go on to old business. William and Ellen Estrella, 58 Baker Street, replace siding on the rear of garage with PVC boards, violation issued. Mr. Estrella.
I have to recuse.
Oh, okay. We still have a quorum.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Evening.
What's your, what are you proposing to do?
Same thing as was the last time, Dave. My wife and I are saving enough money to paint the house, to paint that board. And so far since the last meeting, I haven't got any information from you or the board about other people that might be interested in helping finance that. I have got 5 calls from real estate brokers after solicitor advice, everybody, that I could sell my house if I wanted to get out from under this.
Okay, so, well, the work's already been done. What's the violation? Is it because it wasn't in keeping with? The
The violation was we got a complaint because it was being done in the historic district without approval. So,
The PVC went up
Right,
and then you came, right? That was the
I came
previous
because-
order.
I came because
events.
one of you filed a complaint and Matt
One of
said
us.
that I have to come before you, so I filed an application.
okay, so,
That changed.
are you proposing to, remove the plastic sheeting and put up the clapboard?
There's no plastic sheeting. It's PVC board.
Oh, PVC.
And the proposal I made the last time was that my wife and I are saving enough money to paint the entire house and to make it more presentable than the white. And you all discussed what a clapboard would cost. I got an estimate for that, the only estimate I could get, which was more than it's gonna cost us to paint the whole house.
Yeah.
At the last meeting, you commented that there were people who would be interested in helping to finance something like that, but I haven't found anybody.
Well, I don't know if anybody would want to finance it. It's a private residence, so. I don't know. There's the tax credit program that the town offers that,
I think he's referring to, if I recall correctly, maybe there was a comment made, correct me if I'm wrong, if you do recall, that there might be funds available for homeowners in need from organizations in town that support preservation. That's my recollection. That came
Correct.
from, right?
Right.
okay,
I don't know
And
that
if
the
it
solicitor.
was, I asked, I'd be able to contact anybody that you had.
Yeah, and I think the
Other-
predicament we're in is we can't tell you to go who it is to go talk to because we're not supposed to do that, but
Right.
But somebody told real estate agents that they should contact me to sell my home. That's not gonna happen.
that doesn't have any
yeah, that's not,
relevance to us. I understand where you're coming from, but if you,
So my resolution is the same. We're saving money to paint the house.
okay.
yeah,
I think Davidson's other recommendation was to gather another quote, maybe 2 other quotes. This one was.
I contacted
particularly
3 other
big.
contractors, and none of them were interested in that small job.
Has been a year now. So recontacting anyone going into the winter, less work.
Yeah, is there some sort of time frame with this violation at the moment? I mean, it
It's at
is,
the pleasure of the board,
okay,
whoever put a house co-op, honestly.
You already had me before housing co-op.
Yeah, so that matter got continued, so we can come in and solve the issue, and that's why it's back before you.
okay.
But certainly if the board, needs additional time is, required, something that, call back the housing court judge, that, the board is taking into consideration additional time when we take that case out,
Okay.
but there's no time frame working over.
Well, obviously, we're heading into the winter season, so it might not be the most appropriate time to, do any of the work on the building, but
And again, I'm gonna be able to afford it until the spring anyway.
yeah, well, I mean, I did look up industry standards even for 2025. And the quote that was provided is roughly double what industry standards are for today. So I think it would behoove you to save a lot of money by continuing to find, there's a lot of contractors out there. There's
So
some,
we're still gonna have to paint the house, Dave.
well, I understand that. You can paint that, but if you save, he wants to, a lot of money to clapboard one small side. The rest of it could paint the house. That's what I'm saying. Just about, I don't know. But I'm suggesting that, this work could be done in the spring when the weather breaks. And it would give you time to get other quotes so that you could save money, because this bid is extremely high. Just from industry standards. So, I know there are a lot of contractors in this town. Again, we can't recommend specific contractors because of potential liability issues, but, that would be my suggestion, is to take the time to get other contractors to give you a better price, to do the work properly, and then, have it done in the spring and paint it. That's my suggestion. It would be up to the board as a whole. I'm only one person.
I mean, the issue is twofold. Our charge is to deal with the violation and that what you did to the house that doesn't, without permit, fall within the design oversight that we've been asked to implement. Secondly, now we're entering winter. I'm more than comfortable pushing this into the spring and give them an opportunity to get more quotes. I don't think we have a choice, but it's certainly not going to stay the way it is. So I would suggest we continue it with the request that you try to get a couple of other quotes that are more competitive than the one you provided, with the replacement of the PVC sheet with claps.
That's a motion. I second it.
Is that a motion?
Sure.
Any other discussion?
I think just that actually painting is a good opportunity. You might be able to even work in the replacement of the claps into your painting contract. If getting a small job is a big problem, now you have a large painting job, you find the right painter who can also do some carpentry work. It could roll together nicely, and then.
Yeah, it's not a complicated job for a decent carpenter, so a lot of painters have access to carpenters to help them out,
Should we put a time point on the motion that we've had seconded? Should I
I
modify?
think you should continue to a particular date.
Yeah,
So we come back, get a status. Again, there is an outstanding house and co-op case. As
So-
much as I said this, we have some discretion here.
yeah.
The house case, the house and co-op judge is the one that has the ultimate say on everything. So
When was that hearing?
it was last month, I believe.
Like
So-
is 3 months reasonable? Like,
well, that would be February. That
Yeah.
wouldn't-
or
that's not-
March? No, for quotes.
Oh, for quotes, yeah.
What would be reasonable?
April,
April?
April 1st, would that be reasonable?
Sure, April Fool's Day, why not?
We are the third.
so
I
I
am-
say, yes, April meeting.
I amend my motion to include our April meeting as a revisit with Mr. Estrella to provide additional of 2026. The 21st of 2026, April, to
Okay,
revisit and discuss other quotes.
would that be reasonable?
Well, that's your decision. I do want to be on record saying I have no interest in selling my house.
Well, we don't either.
We
so.
don't have any, we didn't do that.
And that's not,
I get postcards all the time on my house, which might be what you're talking about. People
Now, these
ask
are
all the
people
time.
who said that they understood I was before this commission
Oh,
and could help me by buying their house.
oh, yeah, well, that's.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's the first time we've heard that one.
yeah,
yeah, 3 different agents.
I wouldn't trust that. Okay, so we have a motion that you'll come back April 21st, by April 21st, with other quotes and a plan to get the clapboards replaced and painted, all right?
Thank you.
And we have a second by Carol,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is John Estrella, 463 Main Street, replace front facade and windows. Good evening, John.
Georges. There was some plans before, these are slightly altered. I'm not sure if I got the okay on the last ones. But,
I think we had approved
yeah,
the last plan, the final plan,
yeah,
so I was kind of surprised what's.
So it's a change?
yeah, I had, some new drawings done up, because the old ones, some of the measurements were off, and we, switched up some things, like the bottom is now brick instead of, wood.
We did have approval, but I thought we left the windows off because you weren't going to do anything yet. Correct, on the second floor?
I'm not, yeah, the second floor, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
We're still not touching. it.
Still not, yes, that's still like kind of plan B or
Yep.
second phase.
Mhm.
But the other thing I did, was we were kind of mulling is putting in some, as you can see, the double hung windows there instead of the storefront glass.
Mhm.
Okay, so what's the reason
The-
for that?
Just a second option that I kind of liked. I haven't made a decision on, which one,
This
but I
doesn't-
didn't know if that was, if that affected anything.
This doesn't have the old. This is the plan that we first,
Option 2. What did we approve? We have that in front of us?
is option 2 the one that we had approved? I think it is.
Yeah, close to it. It's slightly, it's a little bit different. You've got brick down below and some precast, like a precast sill under the windows.
Under the storefront windows?
Yeah, it's under both.
About, yeah.
So we had gone around with the various styles of windows, the old storefront windows and the transom windows above. And then the glass in the doorway and all of that.
So the difference is the divided lay.
The double hung.
Yeah, the double hung versus the storefront glass, that's the big, and the brick underneath also.
So how far down did the windows come before that we approved? Did they come, was it the same
Yeah.
size windows, just instead of brick, it was?
The height is about the same. These might be slightly higher, maybe 4 inches because of the sill. They are a little bit lower because some of the measurements that were on the old plans, they had the, that trim up top, the
Yeah,
crown molding on top of the brick, but we lowered it down below, so it's below the,
oh.
The
up
steel
complete
plate,
brick,
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think one of the important elements is the fact that it was a storefront. And now with these you know, with the proposal, these double hung, it really takes that away. Is there any reason you need them to open?
Not right now, but also want to keep in mind like the future. I feel like, you know, there's a lot of food, restaurants and that type of thing seem to be moving into the downtown areas, so that was something that I thought might appeal to that.
Or to have some more like al fresco dining if you open the windows.
Yeah,
Well, I wish I had the original approved layout in front of us so that we could compare.
It would be helpful
This is
to remind
similar.
ourselves.
the second storefront plan is pretty similar. I mean, basically pretty much the same thing except for the brick down below. Some of the columns may have been moved.
You have a time constraint on this suggested review?
I mean, I'd like to get going. It's been sitting on it for a little bit, so I kind of want to move it forward. And somebody else, I do have a potential tenant looking to move in, you know, in the spring.
So John, which one would you prefer? You prefer the double hung rather than the
Question.
storefront windows?
I don't, I go back and forth, so
What
Yeah, I
is
haven't
the
really-
building again?
made up my mind on that.
Well,
It
it's
may come
like-
down to, you know, dollars too.
It's 1920s.
Right.
So, you know, doing the double, I haven't gotten all the pricing yet. So that may drive it one way. or the other. I'm sure the double hung are gonna be more.
Right, and it changes
1938.
the feel of the front of the building.
It does.
But that doesn't necessarily detract from all that
Mm.
you're doing here,
Yeah,
so.
It's not that busy. It's,
It's not that
there's
busy.
still, in other words, I think the size still invites you inside. It doesn't look residential.
I mean, from my perspective, we're not gonna make a decision if you're not even sure which one you like. You sort of have to let us know. Maybe it would be helpful to get the price
yeah.
on the double hung.
Well-
And really helpful for us to have the approval we had
Right.
from last time in
previous.
front of us when we we're discussing it.
I agree.
So it couldn't be an approval. I mean, is either acceptable, I guess.
Well, personally, I think it changes the look dramatically if from a storefront to these double hung windows. But that's my,
I'd kind of like
think
to go out
it's-
and eyeball it with the plans in front of started
yeah,
trying.
yeah. You know, historically, again, that's our charge to try to preserve the look of the storefront.
I mean, the other issue we have too is we don't know what the original building looked like.
Yeah,
Whether it had, I mean, maybe it had, you know, double hung there.
no.
I don't
It would-
Well, I don't know, but I don't think it was built with the storefront glass either.
Oh, yeah, it would have been.
What
You
was,
think so?
Yeah,
so what was the original use of this building?
it was a store, a commercial store.
Yeah.
Was it,
yeah.
and when was it,
Retail.
and when was it built, John? Do you know?
It was around the thirties, probably. Late
30s.
twenties, early
38.
thirties,
It's 1938.
38.
It's on your
Oh,
application.
it's on the application.
Ben, what's the historic behavior of the board in terms of proving one or another option versus discussing the option at hand and saying, this is the one? He's saying we are either acceptable. I don't ever recall us saying yes to something and there being two different versions in play. Don't we usually whittle it down to one?
I think,
Yeah,
Okay, well,
Yeah.
to answer your question, no.
Okay,
We can't tell you yes without all the information. So my recommendation would be we move this a month,
well, why don't we
Or-
do this, and why don't we stick with the storefront glass?
okay?
And are we okay with the brick down below?
What was there before?
It was,
Wooden panels?
it was panels, wood panels.
And the second story is brick?
Yes.
Yeah,
How would it match?
Yeah.
It'd be the same brick.
same brick.
It
Yeah.
would be the same brick.
Probably be painted down below though, black.
Okay.
I think that's fine. Same brick, the same brick,
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Well, they'd certainly last longer. And if it's the same brick as the building, I don't know if I'd have a problem with that. If they were.
And then
staying-
there would be a, like a precast sill that matches the windows up on the second floor.
Mhm.
Those
Mhm.
precast were, that's actually only down below. There's nothing on top, but
Are you thinking more longevity with putting brick
Yeah.
down there?
yeah,
I mean, it costs certainly gonna be more than doing
it
wood,
is, yeah, yeah.
I have to imagine.
I just, in the wood, I just worry about the wall, it's gonna,
You're on the sidewalk.
yeah,
Runoffs or roof shed's gonna splash.
exactly,
It will certainly
yeah.
not last as long as brick.
Hold up better.
All right, so
So that's the only change from what we've already.
Well, and then, and then it was the double
And-
thing.
And yeah, and again, I think if we can see the plan that we approved previously. Because again, I thought this was all pretty much settled, so. It's hard to compare exactly what's been changed. Since we did that approval,
Yeah,
You don't have a record of the,
I mean, not
Well,
with
it's
us,
not
wasn't on
here,
the
but
agenda.
yeah,
We don't have
okay.
that.
you know, it's in the building, so. Do you want to make that motion to continue it?
I mean, if he's under time constraints, happy to have a special meeting
We could have a special meeting.
to get you in sooner, so you don't have to wait a month.
Yeah,
But I would be comfortable personally, because we've already given you a full approval on this, to compare the two to make sure, again, I know you're saying they're very similar, but very
Yeah.
similar and the same otherwise are not the same definition. So are you comfortable coming back in a, I
I
mean,
can wait till the end too, if you wanna.
we would need, yeah, we would need 5 copies probably to make that.
Oh, if you
Or
wanted
at
to do
least a
that.
couple.
Oh, yeah.
We'll start out with that, moving it to the end of
I
the
would-
agenda.
I can wait.
That's what I'm saying.
You prefer to do
Yeah,
that?
I'll wait till the end, yeah.
Yeah, I make a motion, we table this until the end of the meeting.
Okay.
That's fine. Thank you, Alyssa.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, table that. Next on the agenda, Corliss Institute, Rick Clarkson, 24 Norbert Street, demolition of side porch and construction of addition. Good evening.
Evening.
Could you
I'm
just-
Chelsea Wybus, the designer on behalf of Corliss Institute. Also have the builder, Bill, here with me. With,
Right.
some material.
Want to run through your proposal?
Sure. So this, we're proposing, an addition to an existing group home. We will be demolishing an existing porch, and stair. And in place, putting in a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom accessible addition.
And is this is all one lot, I'm assuming?
Correct. So this is more of a zoning issue, but the existing lot is existing non-conforming. So we're going through a process right now of subdividing an adjacent lot that is also owned by the Corliss Institute to kind of take over some of that square footage to make it a larger lot, so we don't have those zoning issues.
Okay.
And that's the proposed plan that you'll see on the second page. That shows what the new lot footage and setup would be.
That's this one.
Correct. Yep.
Just so I'm clear, what you just said, the owner owns both properties, they're adjacent to each other. Then at some point, a previous planner actually joined properties like that to avoid stuff like this that wasn't done with this property.
It was automatic zoning.
that we have a project.
So this one would have been merged, would it not?
With this particular property, I'm not sure.
Okay, there was-
Back to the off, I get a question, so, unmerged. I'm not exactly sure. Well,
Maybe they didn't fall under that automatic.
I don't know, I don't have that
So,
right in front of me.
so is this in front of the zoning board already, or is this?
So the idea is to not have to go in front of zoning. There will be, I'm not exactly sure how the lot subdivision process happens. They're going through that with a surveyor who created these lot subdivision drawings. So that's a little bit outside of my purview. So I'm not really sure about that part of the process.
So would this development hinge on that?
No, it's, they're just getting permission to, make this addition. Now, whether or not they can proceed depends on either whether or not they can merge. If it's not merged and they will not need relief, or if they can't merge it, then they gotta go before the zoning board
And
and
get
ask
relief.
permission
Get
to
relief.
merge.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, well, I'll start with a couple of things. Is there another way to connect the new building with the old without demolishing that porch? That's my first question. Can it be incorporated into it somehow, or I don't know. That's my first question, and I don't necessarily need an answer right this minute. I'm just putting out that.
I would say cost wise, I don't know. We're also in a delicate dance here with FEMA restrictions. It's in a flood zone. So the cost of construction can only be 50% of the value of the group home building itself. So we have some cost limitations that we're working with as well. I'm not sure how that would influence things. I guess we would save on the demolition cost, but I'm not sure about what the benefits would be.
I mean, I'm just thinking of like moving it, not
Sure, just shifting it over.
moving it somewhere. Yeah. Your compadre wants to speak.
Hi, I'm Tony Gator. I'm a member of the board, of course.
Hi.
Here before we do it.
Yes.
Because of, and Chelsea mentioned the floodplain, this addition has to be several feet higher than the existing floor, so we've got to ramp up to it.
Yeah.
That's the reason to not be immediately adjacent to the building, because we need to be ADA accessible.
Oh, the handicap.
It's not much of a change between the existing and the new, but with the low sloping of the ramp, it does it does require some
What,
separation.
20 to 1 or something, 1 to 20.
Yes, yep.
Okay, so that's one question that I have. My only other question, well, another major question is sort of typically in the district, an addition should be, what's the word? Lesser, not subservient, but what's the word I'm looking for?
Subordinate.
Subordinate, thank you.
In size, you mean?
Yes,
In scale?
in scale. The addition should not be larger than the original building. So as to dominate it.
You mean in width?
In
In
scale,
square footage.
in scale, in general. So that may be height, massing, width.
Right. So thankfully the height is lesser. The
Yep.
square footage is also lesser.
By how much?
It's just the facade, the way it looks, the way it presents to the street. And you have that other gable, which does break it up.
I'm sorry, I don't have that number in front of me.
So this is Just for my own notification, this is the street view.
Yes,
This is the addition,
the whole thing. See, here it is.
Yeah.
You can see, so this is broken.
1, 2, yeah.
Yes. So I think that helps.
And you don't have the square footage of the addition?
The,
Can you
the
tell
square
us what
footage
that
of the
is?
addition is 890 square feet. But the square footage of the existing, I'm not exactly sure, but I know that it's definitely greater, especially because there are 2 floors.
Maybe in the footprint
About 1,200.
in the old house.
So it's about 75%. That's there.
Okay.
If she's saying it's 8 and change to 12.
You have to keep that pressure treated stairway that's on the side there. Does that have to stay there?
Yes, the one that goes up to, yes,
Yeah,
unfortunately, that is an egress path.
So I was gonna ask you about the casement windows along, I guess it's the back of that addition, and
Correct.
they're noted for egress. Is that
Correct.
why you've got to choose a casement window instead of a double hung?
We went with the casements so that we could keep the windows in scale with the rest of the windows in the house. If we went with the egress double hung window, they would have been very out of scale to the rest of them. So the casement seemed like the best option, and we made sure to put them on the rear side so that you couldn't see them from the street.
Would there be any other way to incorporate the emergency egress with the connection of this building somehow? So that that stairway could be eliminated? It's such a.
I'm
such
not
a-
sure, that's a little out of scope for
I don't know, just
this
after,
project because that's an existing stairwell that's.
it's such a,
It is there.
I know it's there. It's just, it's
It's an architectural feature.
Whether we like it or not, right?
one way to put it.
Especially around the holidays, you put some.
Yeah.
lights around it.
I'm trying to understand which are casement. Are they all casement in the addition?
No,
No,
only
no.
the 2 at the rear. And
Oh,
Two
that's
at the
what
rear.
So they're not visible from
the
Correct.
street.
the street.
They're
Okay.
off the bedrooms, the
Correct.
windows off the
in the
bedrooms.
bedrooms, yep.
I have a question about the scale of the windows on the addition.
Mhm.
They're so much smaller than the main house.
The
Which is
2 at the front,
Right.
Yeah,
they are, that is because those are in bathrooms, so they're above the
Oh.
countersink, so they do need to be a little bit smaller.
They can't be taller.
We wanted to keep the head height, we wanted to have some kind of consistency, so the datum line is, we kept the head height the same, so that they could, at least when you look across, you can see that there's some kind of an anchor there. To make them bigger, they would have to have a taller head height.
And why is there a single window on the,
On the west side?
yeah,
Partially due to budgetary reasons. There's an opportunity to potentially put another window in the bedroom 2. But for budgetary reasons, it was just a little bit outside of the budget to add another.
you're basing that on your initial comment regarding
The
the
FEMA.
FEMA, because you're in a flood zone, you can only borrow X amount.
Correct.
of
Well,
the-
it's not necessarily borrowing, it's just
It's
the
the
cost of
value.
construction needs
Yeah.
to be at a certain.
Gotcha.
Can I ask, did you consider at all a new building standalone? Because I just think long-term resiliency, you're gonna get a lot better lifespan out of a new construction that can accommodate being in the flood zone rather than adding an addition to a wood frame house in the flood zone. And there are a lot of complications looking at this project because there are so many additions and egresses and things added to this structure over the years. And now we're looking to add another awkward massing to this building again. And I actually, when I first opened this, I thought this could be a really excellent, almost accessory building next to it, move it over 10 or 15 feet and the whole parcel is owned by the same owner. What a great opportunity. So I was a little surprised to see, I understood why there's concrete piers and lattice work, of course, flood zone, but I was just curious, apart maybe obviously from costs, why you weren't just considering a new standalone property.
Bill the builder. I don't really know Corliss Institute. I know what they do. I think it might be a staffing issue or maybe overnight staffing issue where they try to keep everyone together. So put another building there would require them to hire more people. I'm not sure if at the time when we started this over a year ago, that was in their budget. So we would have to talk to Rick and see if that's feasible in his budget to hire more personnel for him for overnight watches for these people.
It would
Well-
also require another ramp into the building, so that would be 3 ramps then on the same property. Which would, and it's even higher than the existing building, so it'd be even longer of a ramp, so. I think it would be a little too crowded on this site to have a whole separate building. I'm not sure if that would be really feasible for the site.
No, yeah, I understand the complications of now elevation, thinking about access into the home for the use of the property, that it makes sense. I was just curious
Yeah.
if that was a consideration. I'm really just thinking long-term here and how long these
Sure.
properties have in the next 100 years. And now we're putting another addition into this really vulnerable neighborhood.
Wouldn't
section of
the-
Warren.
Wouldn't the same FEMA cost concerns apply to a new structure as well?
They would, but we'd also have to, we're going to be using the same electrical service, the same heating
Right.
plant.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and
Understood.
to have separate buildings just.
The cost would be much higher.
Financially
Right.
and operationally feasible for
Yep.
us.
Yeah,
It's a group home that we're trying to expand.
Mhm.
to
and not
accommodate,
add another,
yeah.
so to speak.
All right, so, but there is a possibility for another window on that side with a single window. That's just not a great look. I'm sorry. I mean, it's not,
That's
you know,
fair.
you see homes, I understand their constraints, but you know, it's a historic structure, we're adding to it. And you've got a side, you'd never see that with a single window. And then I would wonder what the windows are. Is that the proposition? 4
well,
over 1?
You should have the specifications for the windows. You'll see specifications for Anderson windows, however,
Yep.
we have an additional spec for aluminum clad windows from Pella, which I can. This is the alternative spec. Aluminum clad.
Thanks. Yeah.
I guess
Go ahead.
what is the purpose of this window that's in front of us? I'm just curious.
These are all.
The one
Oh,
physical.
Bill, you might.
This is just an Anakin 400, which Chelsea spec'd out in plans. It was just to represent that the window is 100% vinyl. And it will never rot. So that's
So it's just for materials and construction.
Assembly.
correct.
Not necessarily scale or.
Correct. Definitely not to scale.
So I guess my final point on the windows would be it's a precarious or peculiar spot that we're in, that the windows on the main building are sort of already inappropriate to the age of the house, but that happens over time. 1/1s were put in. There's no way those are 1/1 in 1880. I mean, but now we're looking at an addition where I still don't like the 1/1s. And there should be more division than those windows are showing.
Right, I'm sure the.
To be historically accurate.
I'm sure the original windows.
Should it be more historically accurate to the existing building? You don't think it would?
Correct. So I'm not trying to match a window that's wrong on the original. I understand what you're saying, but we're
Yeah.
just
Yeah, those would have been, I guarantee you.
2/1 maybe,
Or 2/2.
or 2/2.
Yeah.
1880.
I gotta say that the thing that bugs me probably the most would be just, looking at it from the street. Again, this would affect the interior layout, which I don't know if is amendable. In terms of how those 2 tiny windows present to the street. I like what you did with breaking up the gable, so it doesn't look as massive an addition.
Mm,
But if these two windows could mimic the scale of the ones on the existing house, I think it would be much more successful. And appropriate. So if they could move the cabinet, the counter, whatever in the bathroom to allow that, I think, the other issues, for me, I think they're satisfied.
okay. I unfortunately, the way it would need significant redesign to be able to make that happen, because this is an accessible, an accessible addition. There are grab bars and things like that that would be in the way of being able to have a larger window.
And
But I
there's
do hear,
I mean, I think
Yeah.
that's really important. I really do,
Okay.
because
so there's no way for the bedrooms to be in the front and the bathrooms. If you shifted that, maybe you could have larger windows in the bedrooms. Of course, if it was an egress issue, then you'd have to have casement windows in the bedrooms,
correct.
which won't solve our problem.
I just think it should have some sensitivity to, the original building. Especially being in the front. I mean, the far side to the right, personally, I appreciate Scott's input. But it's not even as visible as the front. Those two windows in the front are way more important to me than the ones on the side. Because it will look like I hate to say, but a cheap addition that was plunked on the side with those little tiny windows in the front like that. It's not gonna look, you're spending all this money and you're doing a nice little to try to make it fit. It's set back, it's not on the street. There's a lot of consideration, I think, that's already inherent in the proposal.
Understood.
And if that's assuming we concede on demolishing the porch, which I'm not thrilled about either. I don't know the age of that porch. It's hard to tell from this little small photo.
The porch was a future, or it wasn't original. So that
Right,
was
but do you
just
have any
an
idea
addition.
of how old it is? I mean,
No,
it's,
I wasn't able to find any information.
one of the, I have to say, one of the things that would have been great if you guys had come in just to have sort of this sort of informal chat before you, develop it to such a degree in plans that now you've spent a lot of time, a lot of money, and it's, much more rigid than if you had just come in for a casual conversation. We could have given you all this feedback before you did any of this work, so that the inside layout was still flexible and the windows were still flexible and so forth and so on. And that's a procedure that we're trying to encourage with people to do, to come in before you even apply, so that we can have conversations to save everybody time and money and expedite things, honestly.
For sure.
So. Those are my comments, I guess, for now.
And so the existing property is vinyl sided and your vinyl side, the addition with something that hopefully matches. Is that as close as you
Correct.
can get?
We would match the fluted corner boards and all of the same kind of elements, the lattice, you can see. We wanted to incorporate that as well to enclose the underside between the concrete piers.
Have you considered using a different material, a different type of composite or hardy plank, something like that instead? Again, thinking flood zone, but just durability of the material would certainly match a vinyl.
Yeah, we all were thinking that keeping it as close to what is existing would be kind of our best shot at getting it moved forward. And also for budgetary reasons, it was kind of advantageous for us to stick with the existing materials as well. Composite materials, I don't know if that's necessarily in our budget. I think that would kind of push us outside, as we're already kind of at the top. But would it be problematic to stick with matching the existing materials?
Be curious what everyone thinks about that.
Yeah, I don't love any of it. I mean, because we're making, you know, we're doing work to an existing building, which is historic, and we're trying to move everything in the right direction in town in terms of undoing a lack of preservation that's occurred with a sensitivity to the historic nature of a lot of the buildings. And then when we have additions like this, conceding to match an existing building that's historic with already inappropriate materials and design, I don't like it. I think it's something we have
I
tried
don't
to
think-
hold
I
our
don't think
ground
we've
on.
done it.
No, we
Honestly,
haven't.
we haven't approved anything like this.
Okay.
If it's new, we would want it to complement the time period of the neighborhood and the existing building, not necessarily what happened later that was contaminating the whole life. So I have a lot of sympathy because of the use of this building and the need for additional
Yeah.
bedrooms. What can we come up with that? I mean, it is an addition. It's a new structure. It's complementing something that, you know, was underneath it all is historic, but certainly doesn't present that way now on the exterior.
Right, but the one thing is, somebody could someday take that vinyl siding off the old house and restore it, so.
Right.
But I wonder until then, if we do the addition with something that's completely different from what's existing, if that's too much of a contrast to.
Well, I
what's
think
there
like,
now.
Margaret, I think it was, who said that, you know, if it was something like hardy plank or whatever, you know, nobody would know the difference. So
Well, I wouldn't,
I think it would be more in keeping with the district. If you had something like that, instead of, how do I want to say it? You know, celebrating a bad decision that was done on the old building. You know what I mean? Because now nobody's going to ever take the vinyl off the new building, right? Why would you, right? Because it's not historic. So, and I think just from people in the community looking at this, most people would probably come to us and say, "Oh my God, how could you let that happen? Why did you allow that?"
yeah.
That would be the response. It wouldn't be like, "Oh, wow, you did a nice job on that addition," because they wouldn't see necessarily the nuances like we're picking it apart here. They would just see this large vinyl sided, small windowed addition plunked on there that looks out of place, basically, you know?
What we have approved and what the Secretary of the Interior Standards talk about is a different but complementary addition. And material, and this might be crazy, but what about shingles?
Right.
Is that just too expensive? Because you just can't do it.
Yeah, shingles would be a lot.
Nothing but vinyl siding is going to do.
So I understand your opinions of flip-flopping bathrooms and bedrooms. To answer that question, you have to run longer lines of insulated pipe. You have to run longer lines of electrical. That's increasing material and increasing labor, and we're very tight budgeted as is. Standard rate, give or take, you know, your general contractor and your details is about $250 a square foot. And if you do the math, we blow out of proportion. You know, we have contractors that are sympathetic to the Corliss Institute that have reduced their prices to get within a budget that we've already are $20,000 over already. So to do party board, which is beautiful, we just can't afford it. We just can't afford it.
Yeah, and I'll echo my peer sentiments, though. We are sensitive to the mandate of the owners and what the building is serving. It's not relevant to
Well,
our
if we-
charge with historic
We
buildings.
change
Hold
some
on.
windows around.
We have
go-
other examples of similar functioning buildings in town that I can think of one not far from where I live that, windows came out and we didn't have board involvement at the time. And we won't get that back for a long time. So we're just trying to, we have a mandate and a charge to, sort of meet your needs, but also preserve
Right.
again, or as some of my peers have said, have the new structure be a sympathetic addition to what the original would have been.
Is there a way that we could have, I'm so sorry.
It's gonna,
Is there a way that we could have this, the vinyl be approved with the agreement that within a certain number of years, that the siding on the whole building, the addition and the existing would be changed to something that's more historic?
I don't believe so.
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ben's saying no, I'm sure there's no way.
Right. That's a negative.
So would it be helpful for you to have some time to think about other options, another way to design this? I realize that you've spent probably quite a bit of time on this as it is, but you can see that there are several objections with regard to the size of the windows, the siding, the appearance. And again, we're not unsympathetic to what you're trying to do. And we know that there is a need for this type of housing. We understand that. And we're grateful for what Corliss does for our community. We just have to find a compromise, I think.
Yeah, because we're already conceding on the porch, which, I don't know how old it is, but when you look at it, it's certainly, I would say it's a character defining feature of the house, I've admired this house and I really used to admire the storefront before that was butchered years ago, before you guys were involved. And so it's this sort of nibbling away of things that frustrates people and frustrates the commission. So that's why I said if there's a way to connect it, maybe by somehow incorporating the porch, because you're only using a very small connection, really. I think, the massing is okay with the way you've broken up the front. Where do the utilities come in? Do they come in through that connector? All
They
the
will,
wiring, the
yes,
plumbing, and all that?
yes. With special insulation because everything will be on pillars, we have to run special insulation.
So I mean, if I'm looking at this drawing, right? So you've got utilities coming in here, I don't know. And you've got the bathrooms on this side, I don't know what, it seems like it would be so close to put the bathrooms on this side. I don't know what.
Well, we have to
What's the big,
insulate the bays in between the joists
Right.
with pink insulation foam. Never mind, the pipes themselves will be insulated.
right?
The hot water tank at this point is 50, 60 feet. So to get that hot water there and to stay warm, we want to keep it as close as possible. And going in between joists is not really ideal to be running multiple sewage lines, water lines, and other waste lines, never mind electrical lines. And
What about,
Architecturally, if we flip there's not enough room to flip the bedrooms
Yeah,
over
I
to
was
the
gonna
outside because of the setback into the basically fire escape.
Right.
well, what about, I'm just having this idea in my head, and again, these are all the kinds of discussions we would have had if you would just come in for a casual conversation before you went through to this degree, because it's putting a lot of pressure on us because you've invested so much time and energy and thought into this already. Since you're looking at the lot lines already, what if you add on the back?
Mhm.
Of the house.
Yeah,
Yeah, what if you reposition
see,
it?
again, this is the kind of conversation that we would have had if you had just come to us and said, hey, we're thinking about doing this. What do you think? That's the kind of feedback that you would have gotten that maybe save you a lot of money.
Well,
And you don't have to tear down the porch. You don't have to have this thing 50 feet away. You don't even have to worry so much about the streetscape. You know, just extend the whole thing off the back, maybe. It might be a lot cheaper. You already own the land. You're already looking at the lot lines.
But if we have to push the lot line back a lot more, it compromises potential development. And as you may know, we sold the St. James condominiums
Right.
because
Mhm.
it wasn't financially feasible for us to continue
Yeah.
being landlords, basically. We do own the quadrangle that's kind of in between
Right.
Mhm.
all of the properties that we now own in a campus. And we'd like to do maybe another group home on the campus. And if we adjust the property line even further in, it compromises the capacity of the quadrangle, the future development.
if I might ask, this expansion and the future potential you're talking about is ultimately based on real demand?
Yes.
I was actually going to mention, this is also a very time-sensitive project. We've had a woman that's been waiting for a bed for about a year now. And we were hoping this project would have been a lot faster, but then we've run into so many issues with the zoning, with FEMA, with historic now. So we're already we're very much behind the schedule that we were hoping that we would be at. I didn't realize that coming to see you early on in the project was an option. That's good to know for future reference. But
Well, again, we
This
don't
is-
like to hold anybody up, you know,
course.
we've all been in the business in one way or another professionally. That's why having casual conversations can actually expedite things versus getting
For
so
sure.
far down a road that, you know, you're very invested and then we're sort of in a predicament. So,
But we're as sensitive to your time constraints and your task at hand. But it can't affect our decisions ultimately. I mean, we rushing around to approve things that we're not comfortable with I wouldn't be comfortable with that.
So I want to go back to a question I had earlier about any other siding that didn't mimic the main house. How would the board feel about if it was a really different material? I don't know, like board and batten, or that may be too expensive. I really don't know what the costs are of all these things. But if it was a really different material that didn't seek to imitate,
right.
I wouldn't even have a problem with the small windows in that eventuality, because it's not trying to imitate, it's you know, a new functional addition that would hopefully complement, but not, again, not imitate.
Mhm.
To me, it's more problematic to duplicate the vinyl and imitate, but poorly imitate the original openings. Is that just out of the question? It's only vinyl, that's all you can afford, that's it, nothing else?
could it be? We change the orientation. But then we need like the rain screen and all that. How much would that add?
I don't know how others feel about that.
Could you just elaborate on that again?
Oftentimes, like the Secretary of the Interior standards, when you do an addition, you either there are two choices. You either, you know, completely are faithful to what's already there.
Sure.
Or
Do something different.
you do something different.
Right.
Quite different. this is kind of a pale imitation of something that's already not great and the openings aren't great, but I think if the siding was a different material altogether, it would not detract. I think you could still bring this one back eventually.
We still have the issue of window size, though, that
Right.
Davison alluded to, that is really problematic.
Even if it's a more, let's say, a more modern, like a board and batten kind of siding. You still
Well, I
have a
think that
problem.
addresses the siding issue, which is to, do something different, which I think is a good idea, potentially, if it's
I mean,
within the
the
budget.
bathrooms, the only other thing we could do about the size of the windows, if you'd be amenable, is sometimes on older houses where you're removing one, you have a shadow. You keep the trim of where the window was and fill it in. It would be totally fake here because we would never have the big
Right.
windows, but it would honor the house a bit more if it was, uniform, at least in opening,
The full scale.
in terms of the full scale of the trim, but you only have the window on the top. And it would be filled in,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah. Or alternatively, could we view it as the smaller windows helping to kind of differentiate the addition as a secondary building to the main building?
Yeah, but I think in this case, they don't differentiate it in a positive way. I think they, like I said before, it's,
Well, what
Looks,
if- what
it
if they
looks a
were
little
casements?
garage-like, actually. It looks like a garage with the small windows. And the one window on the west side.
Well, we can consider adding a second window to that side facade.
That's in a bathroom though,
It
Well,
would
it could be
be in the bedroom.
Oh, it's in a bedroom?
It would just be it wouldn't be on either side. They would both be towards the rear.
Yeah, it'd be asymmetrical. They wouldn't be.
What is that height going to be if you're standing on the sidewalk? It looks like it's saying 14 feet to the first floor height, which, is a little higher than where the proposed vinyl is hovering, but I'm just trying to get a sense. You did say it's higher than the existing building, but like if you're standing on the sidewalk, how is that going to look? Because then I think actually the window opening makes a good deal of a difference. A smaller window is going to make you even more feel like that building's out of scale to the surrounding structures. I actually feel like the height and the sizing here makes a big difference, not only from the existing building it's connected to, but others on the street. And I don't know, like 14 feet, if that's from
14 feet-
sidewalk or is it from,
No,
it's from
14 feet
sea
is
level?
above sea level.
Okay.
So if you look at underneath, there's about 5 feet of lattice below. So
Okay.
it's about 5
Mhm.
feet to the bottom of the siding.
So
And then
pretty
there's
high.
about a foot above that to the first floor level. And then the offset from the new to the existing is only a few inches, to be honest. I think it's about 6 inches. So it's not very
so it says
noticeable.
that the line above the lattice is only about 6 inches off between the two buildings. Right?
Correct.
What about if those two windows were casements? Very different.
Facing the
Like
street.
just glass openings and a different siding.
I mean, I don't like that.
Yeah, I
No.
don't like
Okay.
that either.
Too
I don't
different.
think that's,
Yeah,
All right.
I think unless it's truly different, like if you were proposing something that's like contemporary,
What about horizontal?
you know what I mean? Like the whole building is
Be
a
honest.
different,
I saw
Horizontal awning windows, they're not going with
I
me.
don't
but-
know, that's different.
I appreciate the notion that the Secretary of Interior is amenable to what you've said, but I don't know that as a board, how equipped we are to advise on what's different enough and what looks suitable versus trying to be truthful to the original.
right? It's like Ian Pei's, pyramid at the Louvre, it's, there are opportunities to make things radically different.
It's not in our wheelhouse.
But it's certainly outside of anything that we've done yet, as far as I know.
We probably can't afford it.
Oh, I know, you're not gonna hire on and pay, but you've got a great architect, I think. Well, I don't know, I'm getting the sense that there's probably several issues that, could potentially be, brainstormed over. Does the porch have to be demolished? Can the interior rooms be, reconfigured or the windows reconfigured so that they more honestly reflect the windows in the building, the original building? Can the siding be different? I like the idea, maybe a board and batten. Maybe it could look like a barn. I mean, I don't know. And again, these are the kinds of conversations that we would have had if we had just had sort of a casual conversation beforehand. Because now we're just thinking on our feet.
Regarding the porch, where we have the connector.
Yep.
For the layout of
You
the,
might talk in microphone to get them in front of the TV.
Yeah, we're trying to
I
record.
just wanted to show the record.
yeah,
Thank you.
Tony Cantor again. Where the connector comes into the existing.
Yep.
In terms of the operational aspects of the group home, there's really no other place to put the connector. And if the porch, if that portion of the porch were demolished and the remaining porch was left, I don't know what we achieved there.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm just, we're trying to, think of ideas to preserve as much of the original building as possible, or enhance it, and allow for an addition that would also enhance itself and the original building. So those are our drivers, as well as, our charge of preserving the district.
And I'll say this, I feel like the reason why we're stumbling through this so much is it feels like the whole thing is compromise.
Yeah.
Nothing that we strive to maintain and achieve is being met here. So, but I don't know how we'll move forward without some significant revision to what's currently on the paper. That's my feeling on it. I'm one.
Can I just ask one question? So the connector opens into a living room space in the original house? Is that
I'm so sorry. Yeah, that is a dining space.
that's a dining space and there's a kitchen. So there's no way of moving the connector further back.
Correct.
I'm looking for a directional arrow here. Further back and then reversing the bedroom versus bathroom layout.
There, you might see there's a little bump out towards the north in the dining space that would encroach on, if we had the connector in the same orientation, that would encroach on the landing space for at the end of the ramp. So it wouldn't be possible to shift the ramp up to the north in that situation.
The porch looks like a 4 square roof addition to a considerably older L, no? There's a chimney attached to it. Is that a brick foundation under that rear L?
Yes.
So that's definitely
It's old.
1900
you
at
know.
best, maybe earlier.
It's old.
Right, so that's, again, that's the concern with removing that completely without considering the historic value of it.
With the hip roof.
I think the hip roof is later than
Correct.
that may have just been, an L off the back with a chimney. I think,
Right.
because, listen, the porch is on stilts,
Right.
the addition is not.
Right.
So the porch part came later, the part the porch is attached to is more important. The part with the chimney, that's remaining, correct?
Correct.
That's part of the back of the house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's almost like a question of, how many concessions do we make?
Mhm.
The porch is the first one, so right out of the gate, we're making a big concession.
I don't think that's the hang up here.
No.
I think that would be a non-issue if we were more in agreement on windows and scale and
Siding and,
more
So is the
honorable.
scale of the addition still in question, or
well, as I said, I personally think it reflects The fact that it's set back, I think is good. The fact that you've broken up the front facade with that extra gable, I think is good. I don't know if.
I think I'm talking more scale of windows.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I don't know, it looks like the roof pitch is the same, is it, between the two buildings?
Correct.
So again, that's another positive. So there are, like, as I've said, there are positive attributes that you have included here in that addition.
So the porch is not original. The porch is proposing to be demolished. Is any part of that rear L being demolished?
No.
No. So the only thing that's proposed to be demolished was a later addition.
It's the roof and the porch.
Okay. Yeah, that doesn't bother me terribly. It's
Neither. But I still think there's a rework required here to figure out how the windows could be more to scale. Better honor the scale of the original building. I understand there's bathrooms and bars and all those requirements, but I do feel like there needs to be some changes to those.
Since we're sort of down the road fairly far with this already,
Of the windows,
is there an opportunity to have sort of a
maybe.
workshop
inches.
type of setting? Like a brainstorming session outside of like a formal meeting? I mean, it'd have to be posted and
You just recommend just having, a
Another
special
meeting?
session for it.
just another session.
Yeah, it's not a current application and to speak outside of this
Hmm.
type of situation would probably not be appropriate.
Well, maybe we can boil it down to the most outstanding issues then for you to take away for tonight. With me, I think it's the front windows for sure. And the siding would be the most important things for me. And again, that's based on the concession of the porch. What would anybody else like to add to that?
I think if there's any way that front egress could be, I guess it's, sorry, front side egress could also be removed. I know we've kind of talked about that, but it's almost creating this like enclosed space now between the existing structure and the new structure with this big stair in the middle. And I think that is a bit of a
You mean
more of an
the
eyesore.
existing stairway,
The
the fire
existing
escape?
stairway.
the second floor
escape.
egress,
yeah.
yeah.
And that's just a fire escape, right?
Since that's something that's existing, is it possible to keep that as a separate issue for maybe the future?
Yeah, I mean, it's not dependent on this application other than the fact that it might be a gesture to help, since we're making other concessions. If there was another way, in the old days, they used to just have an iron ladder down the side, right? Is that not allowed anymore or?
I don't think they even make those anymore.
Fire escapes aren't in the code anymore.
The old iron ones? Because at least they were made out of metal, they wouldn't burn. That was one of the things.
I echo those two concerns about the openings of the two windows on the street facing facade and
Deciding.
siding is just a problem. I don't know how we get around that. We just haven't approved it on a
No,
new application ever. And it would be a big leap and that's something really in accordance with our charge.
no, and I fear a bit of an impasse because of your budgetary
Yeah.
constraints with the FEMA stuff. Like the things that we're talking about and asking for, I don't see how they don't put you over the numbers that you're being
No.
held beneath.
And so just so you know, for the record, on the FEMA side of it, if they hit that 50% rule, which is not, it's not a lot, because it's 50% of the actual building as it stands.
Is it the assessed value?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then it kicks in the whole building.
Right.
So even the new structure they want to build and the current structure now have to come up to full
Right.
compliance, which means 1 foot above the BFE, all mechanicals and habitable space.
So if they go over 50%,
of the building.
the
as it-
existing
As
structure
it stands,
triggers-
then has to be modified.
Yeah.
the whole
It's-
building, has to be-
Yeah.
the current building and the new building all has to come up.
Yep.
I'd like to clarify what you just said, is that it's not of the assessed value, it's of the building value, the market value, I mean, assessed value.
Oh, so what it is it's the assessed value. If you want to contest it, then you can have a appraisal, but for.
So if you view the assessed value as too low,
Mhm.
Right,
Yeah.
which we have done to
So
raise the price.
it's likely to be much more valuable than you said about it.
Exactly.
So you're operating with real world, real time
Correct.
value.
Right.
You're already at the top of it.
And the issue with the siding, does that also apply to the corner boards and the soffits and all of those materials as well?
Mm-hmm.
Of the addition.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, so even if you were doing, vinyl clapboards, you were gonna do vinyl corner boards and vinyl rakes and
Soffit.
everything.
Correct. We figured it was beneficial to our budget and also would match what is existing, which
Definitely beneficial to your budget. I understand
Yeah.
that. It doesn't, the matching two wrongs doesn't make a right,
that's fair.
sadly.
But the FEMA is a real issue.
Yeah, I get it.
It's
Yeah, because you're down near the cove.
and I mean, at what point do we as a commission say, okay, we can't approve it, they have to go to the town council? Who can make the,
Yeah, they can certainly ask for a waiver.
and that's
Based
something we
on
just need to
hardship.
discuss among ourselves.
Yeah, and oftentimes what the board does is, have them come here and show it to this board. So you can take that into consideration if you're making a decision that kind of is going against what your charge is. In lieu of, you deny it, or they can just go for a council. If you deny it, gets an appeal to the zoning board, it's the appellate here. However, they can, if they're altering it, get a waiver based on a financial hardship. And then come back here and it kind of gets a little gray, but certainly this board has always considered prior to going to the council a hardship, financial hardship here.
Yeah, but a question I have, I think where it's gray is, does the FEMA constraint represent a financial hardship?
If you have to redo the entire building, I guess, could we
We probably could argue.
But the
that.
building's purchased and owned in a flood zone, and that's an inferred.
So
Responsibility of the
the
owner.
only thing is this, and we've said this numerous times, I'm looking at right now, section 4-35 and talks about what are the conditions for granting that a waiver to alter the property, and where it specifically talks about financial, the burden is very high on the applicant to the point where it says including sale of the building or structure to a purchaser willing to preserve the such building. So it really takes it to a big level. Just because there's a waiver, certainly they can say, okay, put on the market, let's see if somebody's willing to purchase it, come back and preserve it. And if not, and then here's your waiver. So, I mean, it's a difficult standard for any applicant to get that waiver. However, this board has considered the financial hardship of similar type situations.
Again, I just don't know that I feel
Yeah.
confident that FEMA is one of those financial hardships. That's a constraint put on buildings that tend to be on the waterfront, or in this
It's
case,
just a financial hardship in general, and whatever causes that is something that should be considered or can be considered.
Okay,
Well, let me ask a question, if it weren't FEMA, isn't there something that if you spend more than 50% of building, you have to bring the whole building up to code? Is that,
Well, yes, but yes, it's two different codes though we're talking
Right.
about. You're talking about building code. So yes, you'd have to do building code, which is not as extensive as having to do FEMA flood proofing. So yes, you're correct that but the 50% rule triggers two different things, but the building code is a lot less strict than the FEMA when you're talking financial.
Well, FEMA is causing us to put it on pillars and,
Right.
and
Right.
that's driving a little bit of the increase in cost.
Yeah.
And the having to stay below the 50% of the value of the existing is really our limiting factor right now.
Right.
And it's not really FEMA, well, it's sort of the building code, because if you go over 50%, you have to meet the current building code.
Right.
And that,
That's
if we
prohibitive.
have to do that, the project would be
Yeah. wouldn't
financially
happen.
achievable by us.
Right. Okay, what's the pleasure of the board?
Is this something where, do you feel like there's any opportunity to think about anything that we've said or sharpen pencils and maybe?
Yeah, I think we can definitely consider your requests.
I mean, I think honestly, like I said, to me, really, the two biggest outstanding things are those two front windows and the siding. I could probably support it
Like,
if there was some change in those.
what I'm thinking is, would you be amenable to continuing this hearing we could even have a special meeting perhaps in a couple of weeks? however
And
long
a
it
small
would take.
rework, get those windows a little larger.
We wouldn't
scale.
want to make you wait another month.
Sure,
We understand
appreciate that.
the urgency and we're all willing. Would that be amenable?
Yes, and I do have a question. If we did pursue the option to put the addition towards the rear, so it would be behind the building, would all of those same, would the siding still need to be hardy, or could we stay with the vinyl siding?
There are issues about visibility from the street.
Yeah,
If it's not visible from the street, it's less of a concern.
it's a consideration for
I
sure.
still don't think we've ever approved vinyl though.
We
Right.
haven't approved.
And I don't
vinyl
see changing that.
addition.
It's just
So we
not,
still,
Unless
you
it's
would
You're in the
say-
historic
a piece
district,
on the
but
original.
the materials have to be,
But you may be saving money because you're not extending all the utilities and building this connector and tearing down the porch. I don't know, it's just, I think, again, if we'd had this conversation in a casual manner first, you might have been able to run the numbers and the ideas on different scenarios, and it might be,
listen,
It
they
might be-
haven't
it might
built it
be more
yet.
affordable.
We're having the conversation now.
Right. Yeah, so I mean, if it was just a straight gable right out the back, just simple, I don't know. Again, we're just thinking on our feet here, but
Listen, I think this is a constructive design with sympathy to the original building.
Yep.
It's really a few components of it that are problematic.
Yep.
Right. But
Yep.
scales, it's smaller than the original.
Mhm.
It's offset. There's two peak lines.
Yep.
It's really windows and siding.
Okay,
So if you could rework that or attempt to,
sure.
and then let us know when you need us to, we can do 2 weeks, we can do 1 week.
Sure.
It's a few days' notice to be.
You say posted, correct?
Okay. In terms of the window sizing, does it need to be the exact same proportion and size of the ones on the front?
I mean, as close as possible, I would say.
yeah, I would say, yeah. Because we're making other concessions, so I think that's
Yeah.
something that,
Well, it's a one-story addition. So the scale of the addition is smaller. Could they be could they be the exact same size as the main building?
No, but I think they have to be in keeping with the spirit of the original, so I guess percentage wise, this smaller to the scale, that'd be fine. I still think that 1/1 is not great. I may be alone in that, I don't know.
no, I think, I would say they should be,
We're gonna try to do the addition correctly.
do them 2/2.
I would try to rework it with 2/2 or 2/1,
Yeah.
2/2 with just a vertical?
correct?
Okay.
Not
Because again, if somebody ever wanted to come back and restore the house, then at least, you're sort of making the step in that direction, which is the same argument with the siding.
Yeah, we're not, realistically, we're not talking about a pasted on muntin on the, in between two
Right,
panes of
no,
glass.
it'd be the same.
It'd have to be
And
spirit of that,
integrated.
Yeah,
Sure.
true divided light
Mhm.
or simulated true divided light.
Mhm. Okay, yes, I think the special hearing would be ideal. We definitely want to move as quickly as possible.
How much time?
we can get back to us. You don't have to answer that right now.
Okay.
Yeah,
They need at least 48 hours.
Yeah,
48
Notice.
hours.
yeah, just.
Okay,
talk
would it be on a
talk to
Tuesday?
Melissa.
Or would it be flexible on the day?
Yeah, it's
The
whatever.
day's flexible.
It's just whether or not we can get a quorum, so.
Okay,
I make a motion that we continue this, once we hear back from the applicant on a date that is viable for a special hearing.
Okay, and could we add, just so that we're all on the same page, the issues that are outstanding to that?
Sure, that the new plan include our concerns, a redesign of our concerns with the scale of the windows, street facing, the siding, the style of the windows.
Okay.
Am I missing anything?
else? Anything else Margaret, anything else to that? Terry?
Nope.
You good?
And the potential addition of a window where there's a single.
And are those, the windows just the street facing windows, or all the windows?
All,
but the other windows met proportionally.
Or more in proportion.
Well,
As the
I'm
front.
I'm talking about the casement issues.
I don't think we have a,
That's at the rear.
I don't think we have a,
Yeah, the casements were not an issue.
and that's a
In terms-
concession we don't need to make, or we're willing to make because I think of the egress issues that you have and it being rear facing.
Thank you. And
Yeah.
in terms of the windows themselves, was there a preference over the Anderson 400 or the Pella windows that we showed?
I don't think the brand matters as long as it's the true divided light.
Okay, the Anderson is a vinyl window. The Pella windows are aluminum clad.
Okay.
Is
I mean, honestly, is it actually vinyl or is it fiberglass?
actually vinyl.
Okay.
The cost is actually very similar. So
Because I know the fiberglass lasts longer, right? So, I mean, if that's the case,
It's paintable, I think.
Correct.
And the
Yeah, it would
vinyl
be
may not
painted
be
white.
paintable.
right,
I think the
Yeah,
metal
so-
might last a little longer too.
yeah,
okay,
the aluminum
would be-
clad.
we
I don't know
will
what you
move
guys think
forward
Agreed.
with Pella.
Okay,
Okay.
so we have a motion. We have a second?
Second.
Second by Joan, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right,
Thank you for your time.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you for your patience. Okay. Next. Agenda here. Judith Wright, owner, Tom Marshon, contractor, 803 Main Street, removal of windows and replace shingles. Hi, Tom.
Hello.
Yeah, tell us what you got going on here.
So essentially the rear portion of the home, where some work's being done, the homeowner found an old photo of the house. It looks like there's no windows back there and she's curious if we can replicate that and not put windows back over there. In that rear portion of the house. I know it's kind of hard to see from that photo, but
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. There are no windows.
Your better quality scan of the photo. It's hard to ask.
I tried. That's the only one that I could find too, so.
She's got it on her phone. She's gonna see if, maybe we
Yeah, it
can,
might come up better on
maybe
the
we can
phone.
enlarge it, yeah. So the
I
window,
still can't tell.
still can't tell, yeah.
Kind of hard to
I
see with
still
the
have a lot of
reflection.
showing shadows.
Uh,
I mean, the challenge is what the images from 1929,
Yep,
Right,
not a really great representation of what this house
right.
is supposed to be from the 1700s.
Right,
Right.
right.
So
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'd go by that photo anyway. And there's a bay window already in it in
Right,
29.
right. Which is
Well,
not,
Which is also
no.
not in keeping.
which is
Not
which is
that
already-
portion, the rear portion of the house, behind that.
And I
old
understand, but
door.
I'm saying the picture in general
I got you.
is
Yep.
not a viable resource.
Yeah,
For I think this particular house being really one of two, I think, in town that's
so old.
a revolutionary cape.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really of historic value.
I don't have, what would you do? Clapboard it?
Well, there's cedar
Or
shingles on the
shingles?
back of that portion, so
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
essentially it would just be cedar shingles on both sides of the chimney.
Any comments or questions from the board?
What's in that room?
It's just a little room with a fireplace. Just a
Like a
little
den, like a den?
den room, yeah.
Hmm.
It's like a back entrance around the other way.
And they don't want any windows in there?
No,
But there were windows in there.
there was, yep,
I mean, you can see where they've been covered over,
yep.
so, and I don't have any idea how old that addition is. I think it's added on after the other addition.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell.
Well, it's after 1740 and
Between
before
1929.
1929.
That's all we know.
I think that style of chimney with the side arms, which help with flue function. See how the
Yeah,
Mhm.
has those two, you wouldn't have seen that if we
No.
were closer to the initiation. That doesn't mean it's not of
I'm thinking
historic
19
value of 1900, 1905.
20s, yeah,
Yeah,
something.
maybe
yeah,
even later, maybe 20, maybe closer to the time the picture was
Yeah,
Right.
actually taken.
yeah,
mean-
it's not a kitchen fireplace, you know. it
No,
wasn't-
definitely not.
It was a,
I mean, I feel like
A
there
decorative.
would have been windows there and there should be windows there. But is it a cost concession
It is. Yeah,
ultimately?
yeah.
Doesn't want to spend the money.
and it's, I don't even know if it's visible from the street, barely.
Just barely.
The back one certainly wouldn't be.
Right. It would be more the front one through the porch. You'd be able to kind of see it.
Margaret, any comments?
Just trying to remember, these were removed. This wasn't part of the damage from the car hitting the house?
No, there was some extensive rot that just
Okay.
continued into that area, which just couldn't be left. So,
Yeah. I mean, I'd be remiss if I didn't repeat the historic importance of this house. I
Oh,
mean,
the house itself, for sure.
Yeah, it's just, we don't, between Bristol and Warren,
And I don't think,
I don't know how many we even have statewide revolutionary capes
I
like
don't,
this.
I don't think whether there's windows there or they're shingled
Pre-revolutionary.
affects the historic value of the house. I think that's our ultimate,
It's reversible. If somebody wanted to
and it's
do,
reversible. It's not,
it's the later addition, plus it's not like a permanent
and it's not. really
marring of the
from street.
facade or anything. It's just filling it with shingles.
Right.
I think it's okay. personally.
What was the window that was there that was rotten that you pulled out?
it was an old, like 50s style
Double hung?
double hung window. Yeah, it wasn't like an older.
How many sashes were in it? Out of
Six or
curiosity?
six.
Just the two.
It was 1/1?
Oh, no, it was like 6/6.
6/6?
Sorry.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was, makes
Yeah.
sense, yeah.
Sorry, how many panes I meant, not sashes.
It was like 50s style window. It
Yeah.
wasn't like in,
Yeah,
Well, they might have been as old as the chimney. It might have been from the 20s,
right.
Because the 20s was kind of a boom time. A lot of stuff happened. Anything else, Margaret, Joan,
Mm-mm.
Carol?
It's good to note what was there
Yeah,
if we do choose to no more windows. Just a note for a future owner who might be interested in putting windows back. Your note of the 50s.
Well, it's already framed to the old rough opening that was there, so it's really just,
that's just inside the wall.
yep.
right?
So really, if they wanted to, they could take it out and put a window in
Yep,
if it came down to it.
Yep.
So,
what do you think?
you see it the most, Scott, so.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm pretty close.
Is that visible from your house?
No,
No.
I mean, you know, it's a,
There's several
it's a
houses.
unique home. It's
Yeah.
low.
Yeah.
It's not, it's really a Main Street house. It's on the road, but it's
Right.
also, it's pretty hidden by the bamboo shade
Right.
out front.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Listen, I think
Yeah.
we're not, this is not doing a disservice to the property, so.
Right. And, like this photo shows, I think, as I remember, it had, big windows in that porch. And now you're just gonna leave it open, right? That
Right.
porch.
Yeah. I don't know if they're windows or if that's just a little knee wall or what it was. but
Yeah, I think there was just a knee
Some
wall.
old fireboxes back there.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to tell. So,
I remember them for some reason being like 2/2. They might have even been just the old wooden storm windows.
Right. yeah.
That they just tacked up. All right, anybody want to make a motion?
You said you were doing shingles to match. what's
Yeah,
there,
that's already
yeah.
what's on the back. I mean, I did the clapboards on the front and the side,
Yeah.
and then I was just gonna continue with the shingles to
Is
match.
there, out of curiosity, is there a price delta there? Are claps actually more than shingles? They can't be at this point.
They're about the same,
Yeah.
but I think cedar shingles are definitely better quality now, opposed to going to like a finger jointed clapboard, opposed to like a clear, you know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
a big difference, so.
Yeah.
I mean, cedar is just kind of
Through the roof.
ridiculous, so.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be, I don't know if this is a recent photo, but you're gonna be casing in all these posts and all that, like. we
That's
said.
already done,
Oh,
yeah.
that's already done.
Yeah.
okay.
I think we did that in our last.
Yeah,
reviews.
yep, that's got all
Yeah.
1x4 with some trim moldings around it and stuff, so that's all pine.
Okay, anybody want to make a motion?
I move that we accept the application as presented.
Okay, do we have a second?
Okay.
Second by Margaret, so that there will be no windows and cedar shingles on that rear addition, correct?
Yep.
Okay, all in favor?
All right.
Aye. Thank you, Tom.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
You too. Okay, next on the agenda. Completed projects, JPS Properties, 508, 512 Main Street. Place shingles and front facade. Improper installation, tax credit $3,250. Hi, Susie. How are you? Okay, so I don't know, have you seen the work that they did on that building, on the front of that?
Yes,
Yes, and did you see how it's all crooked?
on the tippy top, the first two rows closer to the,
Well, it actually starts at the bottom. The first course is crooked and then they just follow that all the way up. And I don't know what
the
they were,
building has settled, so the second floor, there's 2 apartments, so one of them I am staying in it. The floor is just not even. I mean, like, when you walk into my apartment, it's just like if you put a level, it's just completely off. So we did go to the basement and see the building has been settled. So I don't know what else we could do. So I guess he went with the flow of the building. Because I asked him to do identically to what it was before, not to alter any structural alterations.
well, unfortunately, he didn't listen to you. So what was done there is not your fault or whatever. But the configuration of what it was and to what it is now are pretty radically different. And so they removed these panels, they removed the molding, which made the shingles come out above the windows. And all of the courses of shingles between here and here are crooked. I don't know exactly how much, but almost a full course of shingles, maybe 4 inches or 6 inches. It's pretty. And so whereas all the original shingle courses were even, now they're all crooked.
So initially, he wanted a certain amount of money to remove the existing shingles and replace it with a red cedar. So when he removed it, he said there was some kind of fire or something. So he did have to just like put a little bit of plywood or whatnot.
Yeah, yeah, you
So-
you can see that in, this is like halfway, you can see he
Right,
did that.
right. So
that's-
I
that's-
wonder if, because of that, like the top portion came off or whatnot. So he said that like when you just pull one shingle, like a lot of them come off. And then, so that's the bedroom, that's my bedroom. And was like a lot of dust on my side of the bedroom. So looks like that whole area was very fragile. And I think it rained a couple of times. So I'm thinking he used his best judgment to preserve what was there and not remove anything to the existing structures.
Well, that's, the structure's underneath, so that's all, that's
Right.
different.
But you're talking about that little square.
Yeah, the panels above the windows and the molding that came across that defined the upper shingles that flared out. And then again, all the shingles being even courses going all the way across. Now they're all cockeyed and you can see it. It started in the first course. You can see the first course is crooked. So at the left side, it looks right, like it was 4 inches or whatever it was supposed to be. And then at the left side, it's almost 50% larger. So the first course is off. And then he just followed that all the way up so that they don't line up with the top of the windows. Right? And then the molding, this piece of trim that he put across here is following that same crooked line. And then it goes all the way up until he finally had to cheat the top courses to make it fit because he was running out of room. And
So you're saying that he did not do the installation correctly from the first row.
Right.
And has nothing to do with the building being settled because it's a 250-year building.
Right.
Okay.
Right, because like you say, he should have followed what was there. And I know we've all done carpentry and shingling. You know, you set up a storyboard and it's the same
You
amount.
also use a level to make sure it's like all in a straight line. I'm
Well,
assuming.
It has to follow the building. So even if the building has settled, you still need to follow the building because if you don't, if the building has settled and you make it level, then it's going to appear crooked. So,
So you think he used a level to make,
I don't know. I have no idea.
because I saw him use a level for every row, so I wonder if that's why it was crooked. Because if he didn't follow like how it was, then and not use a level,
Then it would have looked like it was originally, which is what it should be.
because like every row he was using a level that, if memory serves correct, so
And that's really not even how you shingle. You set up a storyboard where you mark the same distance all the way up the sides, both sides, and you nail a strip across and you shingle it and then you move the strip up. And so it's always the same all the way up on both sides. And again, it's not your fault. We understand that, but
And what happened? to
he
the
was,
panels?
what's that?
I'm sorry, I was just thinking out loud.
Yeah, and the panels were removed and not put back, and the molding here, which made those shingles have that skirt, was removed and not.
that was why there was rain, because of the flare. That's the whole reason why we touched this project, because of the flare. So before the eyelash lady was there, it was the tattoo people. So they were always complaining about when it rains, the front foyer, the ceiling tiles gets wet.
Right, and that was down in here, right?
But that was from underneath the shingles. So that was the reason why we even touched this project, because we thought it was the roof. So we replaced the roof, wasn't the roof. And it was actually the shingles. So when it's torrential rainfall, the direction of the wind, my side of the bedroom, there would be a little bit of sweating on the wall. So that's the flare was giving the problems.
And that's okay. I mean, if it was rotted or water was getting in there
It was
somehow,
all, yeah.
and that's okay to take that off and replace it. But as it says in our minutes, that it was supposed to be replaced in kind.
The flare is gone on the upper.
Yeah, yeah.
And the panels are gone from above
And
the
the panels
windows.
are gone, and it's all crooked.
But the panels were added in 2017 with the initial round of when I did the vinyl siding. That was not there. I added the panels when I bought the building. It did not come like that.
Well,
I added the panels. When I changed the windows, when you gave me the permit for the windows, I added those panels.
well, they probably were filling in the space because the original windows were tall.
Taller, that's
So
right.
that was just to fill it in.
Right.
But at least it was something that was there.
But I added that AZAC. That AZAC was not there 250 years ago.
All right.
I added that AZAC in 2017, the one that was removed.
Okay, well, even without the panels themselves, there was the original molding, which identified the original scale of the windows that used to be there. And as Carol said, sometimes when smaller windows get put in, they'll fill in the space, but they'll leave the trim around it so that you can see that at some point it probably was a larger window.
It was a really tall window,
Right.
but where I put the AZAC, I don't know if you remember how the building looked like when I bought it. It was rotten front, back, sides. So
And that's okay.
But I vividly remember there was something going on in the front where I had to replace it with AZAC from water getting in.
Yep.
So I put that AZAC in for,
What Davison's saying though is that whether or not the panel of AZAC is in there, the trim profile of the outside of the window would have remained.
Right.
And
No,
it's gone
it
now.
wasn't, is what I'm trying to say. The building was in a very poor condition, all rotten, front, back, sides. So I vividly remember
Yeah.
that's the why I put the AZAC over there to begin with.
Well, that's fine, but the point is.
There was no trims.
Well, I mean.
The trims around the windows,
Yeah.
that's original to the building. Above that,
Casing.
the casing that you're seeing in that picture, that's original to the original, like the building.
Yep.
Where the AZAC was, whatever was there in 2017 was rotten. So,
Fine.
Still have to replace it though.
so that's why I replaced it.
And that's fine, and you did, and that's okay, but the contractor was supposed to, if he was gonna take those out, he was gonna replace those in kind. He could have left those since they're only 10 years old, or not even. But since he took those out and the casing that went all the way up to the molding,
The casing above the AZAC is not original, Davidson. That's what I'm trying to say. Only the casing to the three sides of the window is original. The casing above the window, there was no casing above the window because the windows were really tall, right? So they just had like a little paint above the window with like a little diamond shape painted something.
but there was just a fill-in.
There was no filling. It was just like a piece of wood.
That's what I'm saying. It was a fill-in. That's what that means. It's just a piece of plywood or whatever it was that
Right.
filled in
So
that.
that wood
space.
has been filled with the shingles, with the red cedar shingles.
Right, but that's not what was there when this contractor started this project. This is what was here when he started.
Right.
And this is what was supposed to be replaced in kind, which means to do it exactly as it is, materials and design. And he did the right materials, he did beautiful shingles. But the design is not, he
But you
changed the
were
design.
against it in the first place, right? 10 years ago.
Not the shingles, no,
No, the AZAC, the trims in front of the windows.
Well, I mean, originally, we would have rather seen the original windows go back in, but
Right.
that ship has sailed, but, so now we're in a predicament where, you told the contract to do this.
I gave him a copy of the contract that
And-
like the minutes, I told him this is what the historic wants,
It says in the minutes, it's supposed to be,
the replacement in kind. Yeah.
the commission said,
Right.
they approved it as long as it was done in kind.
Right,
So-
and the shingles, I made sure he cut it exactly to the size that you wanted.
So now I'm not sure what to do. We've never had a situation like this that I can recall, where basically the contractor just didn't follow the specs.
Can I make just one comment as well? So in the letter that was issued March 28th of 2024 by our town planner, we were asking that or we approve the replacement of the front 4-inch red cedar scallop shingles in kind. So those were 4-inch red cedar scallop shingles. What your contractor put in were 3-inch scallops. And that's listed in the invoice that you provided with this material.
So,
So that may seem like a very minor difference, but it wasn't, as we've talked about regarding other issues. It wasn't replacement in kind.
so do you remember we spoke in detail about getting a carpenter and cutting it into 4-inch? So they make 6-inch scallop shaped shingles. He was ready to, and it's half moon. So if I cut it from 6 to 4, it's not gonna be half moon anymore. So Sweet Lumber, Kenny is the person that I was working with. We went back and forth about this. He said, Joshi, I can come to the meeting, but have them call me and I can explain this to them in detail. I've been doing this for 40 years. You cannot cut it to a 4-inch because it will not be a half moon, because that's the look that you are going for. And I showed him the pictures. He Googled the street view. So I was ready to pay whatever it was to cut the shingle from 6 to 4. But he said you cannot get that scallop shape when you cut it from 6 to 4. It will not be a half moon anymore.
Well, no,
I don't-
than half.
You can, yeah, maybe you wouldn't get, if you're buying them at 6 inches, you wouldn't get 2 shingles out of each shingle.
No, I was ready to toss it. I'm not going to reuse it or anything. Just use that 4-inch, trash that 2-inch. I'm not going to reuse it or anything. But that 4-inch is not going to look like a half moon, that scallop shape that we are aiming for.
Well, you can do it at any size. You can still make a half moon.
We
Any size.
brainwashed it. We talked about it. We tried it. This went on for months and months and months. We tried with.
Yeah.
Where are we at with?
So my understanding is that we're here today just to talk about the tax credits as the project is completed. And as one of the members just clearly read from not only the letter, but the chair from the minutes, what was approved was a 4-inch red cedar scallop shingles in kind. 2 things have not been met here, right? It's 3 inches and it's not, by the chair's interpretation, in kind. Therefore, you cannot approve what was the tax credit for something that was very specific as to what the approval was for.
But this goes a little beyond that, in that we granted an approval as a board on a building within the historic district to do something correctly to the plan, and that wasn't done.
Sure.
So this goes beyond the tax credits, the actual design that we have oversight on.
It's 2
wasn't
separate
met
issues.
either.
I believe tonight it's here just for the tax credit.
So,
If there's an
Well-
enforcement issue later on, there's an enforcement issue.
okay,
She can come back and explain it to the court or explain it to you,
okay.
but certainly
Well, I mean, it's on the agenda, the,
improper installation.
yeah.
It's,
So-
is the board looking at the whole issue or just the tax credits?
Yeah.
What, the whole issue?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
jurisdiction do we have regarding the whole?
yeah, we just don't know what the
Well, so-
procedure is.
We
How-
look back
how-
at the building permit, if that letter's attached to it, it's done properly, then we send it to housing court and we deal with it in housing court. It's, I mean, that was the approval.
Mhm,
It wasn't done, you know,
right.
according to plan, according to the approval, and
And
then
it's not, it's not the applicant's fault. I mean,
in reality, she has
Clearly-
civil, she can civilly go after the, if there was something between her and the contractor, certainly
Right.
can go after civilly, it just.
So we wouldn't deny the tax credit until we've pushed this to the housing court, right?
I think you could deny the tax credit based on simply, I think it's pretty clear tonight that the approval was for 2 things that I just said. In fact, this testimony here tonight that
Right.
it's 3-inch and it's not in kind.
So then if she wanted I'm just thinking
Yeah,
forward.
yeah.
If she wanted the tax credits later, after the work was corrected, she'd come back and ask for it
right.
after.
That was what the approval was, correct?
What I'm saying.
Yes, yeah.
So
In other words,
you
contract
agree
is
to
back
that.
there, there's the 4 inches and does exactly what was requested and approved, and certainly still on the table.
Sure,
The
okay.
tax credit, yeah.
And it's all crooked.
But if 4 inches are not made in America, then what are my options? And if doesn't, it-
No.
You make them on site. I mean.
I did make them on site
Oh,
and it didn't come out as how it appeared.
He's done it, I've done
Yeah,
it.
so let me bring you a 6-inch shingle and let's see if any one of you can get it exactly how it was
Yeah, you
previously.
make a
No,
jig,
it wasn't. It's easy to say unless and until you get the shingle and you cut it.
done it.
Nope. I've tried this with so many carpenters. You
Mr. Chair,
cannot
so
get it.
Just for the record, the permit, it states repair siding shingles must be 4-inch red cedar scallop shingles. That's what the permit was for.
Yeah.
All right, so we need to move this forward to the housing court. Is it housing?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, all you would have had to do is take one of the old shingles and use it as a template, and then you.
Okay,
So,
we
Mr.
can go
Chair-
to housing. What is this? Over 1-inch shingle? Let's do this. Let's go to housing. What is that you need me to do, Ben? Okay, what is that you need me to do? Go to housing?
So my suggestion is the housing court judge is going to say what happened here, what's the issue? And possibly send it back to this board because you have ultimate jurisdiction over the application. And basically see if it can be remedied here before the housing court judge makes a decision.
We have a similar case that you already heard tonight. The exact case, it would be the same situation, knowing being the code enforcement, code compliance officer and deal with a couple cases like this, the judge is gonna kick it back to you guys. So we can cite this property. We're gonna be back here next month discussing this.
Well, I mean. I
And
think-
ultimately, what the town is looking for is just compliance.
Right,
So we're not gonna throw the book at the applicant.
No.
The applicant.
no, it's the
We're just looking for
contractor's fault,
compliance.
it's not your fault. So what's so what do we do tonight?
No.
You can
Deny the
consider
tax
that-
credits.
I'm sorry,
I think we deny the tax credits, I think, initially.
correct, and or you
Or-
can consider
Or
what's there
postpone
now
them?
and make a decision on it,
Do we-
based on,
I think ultimately
I think at some point, you're gonna have to talk to your contractor and say,
I'm gonna call him. I mean, it's too late to
Say,
call him
you know,
now.
just-
Like, I'm gonna call him tomorrow, say that the board was very unhappy with the job that you did.
right, right,
And how are you gonna fix this? What is the plan?
right.
And those shingles are not cheap. The
No.
whole, it was like $8,000, the shingles. So, and
so we could continue it until she's spoken to her
let's continue
contractor.
tonight, continue for a month. She understands the concerns from the board, obviously, she's not happy either with the
Right.
outcome of.
I mean, I can't tell the difference, Ben. Like when I'm standing in
Sure.
Coffee Depot, it looks beautiful to me.
Sure.
So like if we're gonna nitpick about every little detail, then I can sit here and nitpick about every little project that has been completed in Warren and be like, okay, you know what, Matt, this is not right. Why haven't you cited them? Why haven't you cited
Yeah.
these people?
I don't think
So,
that's the way that the town wants to proceed,
Right,
and the right way was.
because I just feel that
What?
I am purposefully, personally targeted only my building due to some previous personal revenge
no,
or resentment that because I didn't do the hardy back or the red cedar shingles back in 2017, this is just personally targeted towards me.
No.
And Davidson personally sits outside Coffee Depot and is just obsessing over my building and see how can I make her life miserable. That's exactly what this is. This is like personal
Okay,
revenge.
so.
You
so-
have a responsibility to take
It's not
accountability.
your.
Right, and over like 1 inch and then the crooked, like.
Why don't we continue this for a month?
I don't have time for this. Just, I don't need the tax credit. You guys can keep the tax credit and I will call my contractor tomorrow. And he can call Matt and deal with Matt.
If that's the case,
So-
then we were gonna probably have to evaluate it on the town side, and if it's something that we have to take further action because there's not compliance, then we'll take further action. If not, that's basically what's in front of you now. It's just the tax credit, the project's not done to par. It's an enforcement issue more than anything. We're hoping that we can remedy the whole thing because we know how possibly it's gonna cycle back here. At the same time, she can always take an appeal to the zoning board.
So
Um,
you don't want to come back to us after you speak to your contractor?
I will speak to my contractor and I will tell him how the board is very displeased with the job that he did. And I will have him come in person, talk to Matt and see what the solution is.
Okay.
Because if I come back here next time, I will lose my cool. So
Okay.
I personally feel that I'm personally targeted.
You've said that. That's not the case.
It's not-
Okay.
I don't know you from Adam, so.
We're just,
You don't know me, but the chair knows me.
we're just trying
That has
to,
nothing to do with it.
we're just trying to react to what it is now and basically where everybody is happy. If I could go backwards, I would say once your contractor figured out that there's a problem doing the 4-inch, because you're obviously willing to, who cares about the 2-inch, and come back before the board prior to doing it and explain to the board why 3-inch was necessary, and maybe would have got approved for the 3-inch based on the testimony of the contractor. Unfortunately, we can't go backwards.
Right.
So I do think it's
That would
prudent
be
to
a
have,
sweet lumber question.
I think it is prudent to have somebody come in here and explain, an expert or somebody who works with it, explain to the board why they
They're
made
not
that
gonna,
decision.
like, they can call the historic, they can call Matt, or maybe somebody can call Sweet Lumber. No, Sweet Lumber is a multi-million-dollar business people. They are not gonna call and sit and explain what is the difference between 4 and 6 and why it will not work. Like I said, we went back and forth months over this.
Would have been nice if he'd come here, that's all. That's all we're saying.
He said he will not come here. He said, I am not getting on the bridge to come here.
If we approve something in specific and it's changed in a specific material detail, you should come back.
Over 1 inch,
And it's not personal, sorry. That's just it.
So I'm gonna ask the board to continue it for a month. You understand their concerns. We know what the issues are. You can take whatever action you need to take. Obviously, the board would like to at least listen to, you know, your contractor and explain what happened here. I think that's probably the most reasonable thing to do at this point, and hopefully that we can remedy the whole issue.
I'm gonna motion that we continue until the next meeting and do the same with the tax credits until we've had an opportunity to have the applicant speak to her contractor about the potential remedy on his dime, I assume, for the errors that were made. And we can readdress the tax credits once that's been fleshed out. There's no point in denying it tonight until it's
Yeah.
played out further. That's my feeling on it. That's my motion.
Okay. We have a second?
Second.
Second by Carol. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Okay, now, John.
We got, thank you for that.
Thank you, Alyssa.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Let's see. We can. Oh.
Do you have the original application here?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I've had
Okay.
it. This way.
I was gonna say,
One more, anybody else need it?
What's that?
2.
Oh, yeah.
You both have them?
Yep. What do you
Yeah,
see what we're talking about? Bring back your memory. Okay, so. Yeah, so this shows the existing facade. Well, I know the glass is gone now, but.
proposed. We haven't, we did approve, but we.
I don't, let's see if that's in here.
Proposed.
This is just the application.
Brick instead of wood, which is good.
No, we're just saying it's not, there's no decision of what we approved.
So we approved the storefront windows,
Yeah.
correct?
Yes. And I'm trying to find,
No, I think with that.
so this, as far as I know,
This looks like.
The second page is, I think, what we approved, right? Where it says proposed
The
facade.
proposed facade, I think that is,
So if I remember.
yeah. I didn't think that the pillars went all the way down, but I guess they did.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
You can see the height on the molding up at the top is now down below the steel beam that's there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I can see it's dropped a lot. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You see that? The difference between where this is and where this is has dropped like that much.
And the transom is 6 inches smaller now.
yeah,
And the transom
and
is small.
it got squeezed a little bit,
Yeah, that's where it got taken up.
yeah.
And I think the bottom, well, I don't know, it's hard to tell. The bottom panel looks
The bottom's pretty close,
similar.
yeah, pretty close.
And then the whole door has been reconfigured. Because I've had the glass transom above the door, as well as the glass side panels. And the old storefront door. I mean, this is really, it's a whole new configuration, really.
And John, did you say this was because some of the measurements were not correct in this?
Some of the,
Proposed
well, yeah, originally they were gonna wrap the molding up on the brick, but I was speaking with a contractor, he suggested not to do that, to drop it down below. So you could flash it and, for waterproofing purposes. And then that kind of shrunk everything down. I mean, the door that's on this latest drawing is just, I mean, that's
Just, yeah.
kind of just something we put in there,
Yeah.
not,
And
I mean, I could have the, side lights on it. Put a door in there with the 2 side panels in.
Yeah, it just fills the space.
Yeah,
But
and it's,
But this looks like this door is not even recessed anymore. Whereas this was set back, the original door is recessed,
I
right?
think it is
yeah, it
recessed. I
still
think
is, that would be the same.
That would be the same.
If you look at the other drawing that has it recessed.
I mean, I am wondering about how different the column component between the glass, they get shortened so much with the brick
Now they look fat,
base.
and they got shrunk on the top too, by a foot or so.
So the original approval, were the panels below the windows metal?
Wood.
Wood.
Yeah.
so you're saying the window height is reduced? By,
By probably 12 inches, I guess,
Right.
the corners, I think it's 12 inches.
and then when you add the double hung. you have a
Yeah,
lot
we
more
got the
window.
double hung, I'm not,
You think-
yeah, I'm not gonna bring it up.
Table that.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
To say I really like the original
Yeah,
column detail.
yeah.
These are kind of odd looking.
Yeah, they don't look
Um,
like an old storefront.
So the concern with the wood, would the columns be wood too?
They would.
So
Yeah.
the problem is the longevity and
Yeah,
maintenance of
keeping
all
the-
those wood elements down there.
Keeping the wood off the ground.
Well, I mean, the design could be retained and the material change from wood to some acceptable composite that's
Exactly.
sustainable
For the columns.
for the whole, the columns and the base.
And the panels.
Yeah.
If the concern is rot and longevity.
Yeah, and we don't, like you said, we don't really know what was down there.
Hmm.
Well, it wasn't
what
brick,
was-
that's for sure.
What did you guys, what was there when you,
What is there now?
yeah,
It's kind of, I don't know, might be slate in the front and then there's brick behind it.
oh. Huh. You think the brick is finished brick or just like?
No, like filling.
Filling,
Yeah. I mean, some parts of it look like they could be, but then there's been, I think there was a second doorway originally
Oh, that makes sense.
further down that got taken out.
Yep, yep.
So they kind of filled in that part and then they just kept, like a big chunk of it is just kind of filled in with a, blue, I don't know, slate or something in the front.
Yeah, I think at Jamie's, I still call it Jamie's.
Yeah.
Savon. I think it's marble
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
below the windows.
Around the corner over at the dive shop, that's like granite,
Yeah.
all
Maybe
on
it
that
was granite.
side.
Yeah, maybe it was granite.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish it was granite.
Yeah, right.
Granite like slabs, like foundation
Yeah.
pieces?
Yeah.
Well, veneer,
Oh, veneer.
just for.
Yeah.
Not structural, but
Yeah.
still,
I don't know how thick. I mean, it could be.
it'd probably be an inch thick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, is that an option?
To put granite here.
Granite veneer versus, it's gotta be cheaper than doing an entire brick.
It was also a concern to add something like structurally to hold these windows in
Mm.
place.
Okay.
I see.
Just to give it a little bit more heft.
So the drawing we approved, there were 3 large storefront windows.
Yeah.
And is there a reason why you decided?
Because
to-
there's a
to-
column, so that, where that, if you look at that, center window, follow it straight down, there's a column there. So we're kind of blocking that column in.
Can you show us maybe which you're talking about?
Yeah. There's a steel column right in the center here,
Oh,
right behind the window. So we're trying to,
Block it.
box that in.
Okay.
So we went from 3 to 2 large and 2 smaller ones.
Yes.
And then no column on the end of the small one.
so was there no column in there before when it was like this?
No, there was.
Oh,
It was
just-
boxed in though,
it
just,
was inside. the-
plywood,
In
yeah.
the store.
yeah.
Um,
So even the original one would need to be amended. I mean, I still can't have it that tall. Even if you wanted to go back to that, which to me, I don't like, now that I've been looking at the newer one, I don't like the old one. So, but anyway, that top crown molding would need to be dropped. So that would kind of bring it a little bit more in line with.
Why is it to be dropped? Because of flashing?
Yeah. There's some, I guess there's some, weep holes in the brick that need to be left open.
but isn't that, I mean, wasn't that considered as part of the design when it was done? In other words, so like the steel beam in this image is behind that cross piece, right?
Yeah. It's probably at the bottom.
Well, it wouldn't be visible.
No,
Oh, it's
no.
at, Oh, the steel.
No, it's just like I mean, I call it a steel beam, but it's
Yeah,
the lintel holding the brick up.
Yeah, right. The I-beam or whatever.
Yeah,
That's the one you replaced, right?
yeah.
Yeah. And so where is it on this drawing?
I think it's at the base of I believe it's at the base of the crown.
So it's from here up behind the bricks? No, it's under the bricks, right?
I think the steel on this one, I think it's here.
Right.
Down
Wouldn't,
low.
wouldn't it be behind this section? Wouldn't that be?
Yes,
So-
yeah, the whole thing.
so
The
that-
only part you can see is right down here.
So that would cover it all. That was the point, right? Was to cover.
No, that's bricked all the way down. And he put in, so there's drains all along here to allow
Right.
the more, water to get out. So we didn't want to cover those holes up.
Right.
So basically we dropped everything down below and then we're gonna flash on top of that. So that the water that comes out will go
Over the
off the over the flashing.
But wasn't it designed so that those would have been above the flashing in the first place? Where this
No.
molding? So I guess that's where I'm having trouble.
Yeah. No, they're at the bottom. Because this is, basically the lintel,
He didn't brick in front of the lintel. did he?
yeah, the bricks are on top of the lintel.
On top of it, not in front of it. That's what I'm saying.
Well, the lintel goes like, it's an L shape
Right.
and there's bricks, so right here.
Okay,
So basically, the only part of the metal you can see is just
the front edge.
yeah, an eighth of an, 3/8 of an inch.
Right. Okay, so it's,
Yeah,
it's
exactly,
an L,
yeah.
not an I-beam. It's an,
No,
it's an,
there is an I-beam behind that. Yeah, this lintel's attached to an I-beam, but you can't see that, that's inside.
okay. So so this L is.
Yeah, there's a brick basically right inside that,
Right.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
that, and that's just to hold those, just a couple of courses
yeah,
in this area.
yeah.
So the height that's referenced in the original approval, it can't stay, it has to come down.
Yeah.
Which complicates the situation because I feel like it makes me want to keep the original plan other than lowering that. Because it doesn't shorten the columns further,
Yeah.
right? So if we lower that top to meet what you're talking about, we leave the rest the same, at least it has the same overall aesthetic versus
Right.
when you bring the base of it up
Now
with
shorten them
18
even
inches
more.
of brick,
Right.
it all just looks really short
Stubby.
and stout.
Hmm.
I know, sort of. Comments, Margaret?
We're doing so good, John. Now you're back
Yeah.
and making all kinds
Yeah, I
of noise.
screwed it all up.
We thought it was all done.
Leave it to me.
Margaret, John, Carol?
Yeah. I think just said about raising the cornice, if that was possible at all, but I'm a little confused back and forth and if it is or not, but if that wooden piece could be larger, that might help, but if it's
The top piece,
Yeah.
it's kind of where it has to be.
a.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Could get rid of it. Yeah.
And it's my sense if it needs to be lower, then the rest needs to be to the original plan, which is columns to the ground.
Yeah, I think if you could make the columns, some kind of composite material that you wouldn't have to maintain so much.
Same with the
And
panels.
same with the panels, that would be preferable to short columns
Mhm.
on top of brick.
Right.
Because the whole thing has been short. That's, I
Hmm.
think where we're coming to as a group.
And then, I don't know, I also like the storefront design that was approved with the bigger windows. And the way the transoms were
Mm-hmm.
and the full height of the transoms, I like these little short things.
Yeah, like I said, the more, you either make those shorter, because we're gonna have to drop that down, so the transoms are either gonna have to be shorter or the window's gonna be smaller. I didn't really want to make those windows too much smaller,
Right.
the big,
Well, but it's plate glass.
yeah,
To me, if that's a little smaller, it's
Yeah, it's still.
better than shrinking the detailed
Transoms.
piece above.
Right, agree.
That,
You're talking about the transoms?
Yeah,
transoms stay bigger. The window itself
shorten the plate glass.
gets a little smaller, but I don't think to the eye you can tell.
Hmm.
And then the panels stay and they're a material that's not gonna rot
Okay.
versus a brick planter looking dimension. 18 inches of foundation, whatever that is.
Mhm.
And I would look into, uh, nowadays, there's all these companies doing granite work out there. Look into it, because it's one piece, you put it in.
Yeah.
It might be cheaper than the brick,
Yeah.
literally,
Yeah.
and it's forever.
But then what would you do? Then you'd have to put the columns
Yeah, bring the columns down. I think that's what
to the
everybody's saying.
brick, to the,
To the
in
big
front of
ground,
in
to the
front of the
ground.
granite?
So going back to the original design that was approved, John,
Yep.
right here. So everything would stay the same, except you're shortening. The only thing that would really change is the size of the plate glass. That's what we're saying, right? Everything else would be the same.
To get the transoms back to
Yeah.
what they were.
What about the number of windows?
I think
he's
that would look
asking?
weird.
I
I
don't
think
like-
that would kind of look weird though. If you kept those transoms that big and the plate glass was,
Well, again, we don't have a drawing,
yeah.
so we don't know. I mean, if you want to, again, like you heard me say earlier, if you would come in and had a little more casual conversation before you're investing in money and plans every time, like,
Mm-hmm.
so if you can draw it, have it drawn so we can see it, where that's the only thing that is changed is the plate glass, and then everything else stays the same, the columns.
And everything drops.
The material changes too,
Material.
right? Because we said wood before, and now it'd be spec to
Yes,
something.
we
that-
could, obviously we want something that's gonna last too. I mean,
Yeah.
we know plywood or MDO or whatever's not permanent. So look into something that would be more permanent as opposed to the brick down here with the columns running to the ground. You're lowering the whole cornice. Doesn't seem like we can get away from that. So, and then keeping the doorway as it was. As we put a lot of discussion into that. What do you guys think?
So this is another, I gotta come back now. Again?
Well, I mean, again, like, I wish, if we could have had, if you had come back at some point and said, listen, we got a problem here. We have to lower the whole lintel. What do I do? Instead of
Yeah,
investing.
it's a pretty big change from the.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it almost looks like it's more than a foot. When I look at this drawing and I look at this drawing, it almost looks like it's dropped 2 feet. Which is a big change.
Well, I'd be shocked if the bottom was 12 inches of brick. I feel like that's bigger too.
Oh, that's at least 2 feet.
Yeah, 18.
Yeah, I
24.
don't, did it say 12 inches of brick?
I thought it was something you had said that at one point.
No,
Looks
I think it's like
much more.
20,
This is
20,
12-inch cornice, but I don't think he's got.
I think it's like 21 inches or
So we could
something.
measure it.
Yeah, it's a lot bigger than that 12-inch cornice.
It's 21 inches of brick and then 4 inches of,
You can really,
Precast.
you can really see how much it's been lowered in the glass that was above the door. So this looks like it's 3 or 4 feet high. And in the new one, it's like a foot. It's a big difference.
So in the one approved though, the columns had to rest on that wood facade or that wood piece. They didn't go all the way to the ground, or maybe I'm reading this wrong.
Say that
They
again.
did go to the ground.
that's the sidewalk. I
this
think
is-
you're looking at that.
It's
That's
What's
the- I
hatched?
see, I'm
That's the
sorry.
sidewalk, yeah. Mhm.
Well, I would support, I would support. And again, I don't know, it might look weird. Because we can't see it in front of us, so we don't know. if you lower just the cornice and then
Kept
everything,
everything else the same.
and then the only place it would be made up, I guess, is in the plate glass.
What about the column that he wants to box in on the inside of the?
Well, I don't think, that should necessarily dictate the design on the outside. I don't like this configuration. Because it just looks invented,
Hmm.
And then again, look at the glass above the doorway. Look how high that was and look at it now. It's just this little. So we've lost a lot up there. I'm guessing it's more than 2 feet. So,
I don't, yeah, I mean, I don't think it's that much, but I think it may have been, the original cornice was like 18 inches, so that's probably what. Although even that, we shrunk the cornice down to 12. This, I don't know if this, I don't know if this original drawing is accurate. That above the door part. Maybe that's not,
well, I mean, he's got drawings of the existing building, so I'm assuming that's
This was
accurate.
not glass, by the way, that was wood panel,
Well, it was glass at one point.
but what we approved was a wood panel.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, that's what's,
Mm.
that's what's.
Oh,
noted there.
okay. I'm sorry.
That's good.
Yeah, see here it was glass. So I'm assuming, when he did measure drawings of the existing building that it's accurate. I mean, he's a registered architect, right?
yeah, well, and there were some measurements that were off, that was one of the things that came up, but,
All right, what's the pleasure of the board?
what if we made these columns on the new drawing thinner,
But still short.
but still short?
Not gonna change the window sizes now again,
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
other this way now instead of this way.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you think?
Hmm.
You gotta do something.
I think it'd be helpful to see another drawing with the columns extended to the ground. And maybe a discussion with the architect or whomever you're working with about structural materials there too. Like if it needs to be brick based on their recommendation versus if they think it could be a wood or a composite
Yeah.
or granite.
I mean, that was all gonna be, the base was gonna be replaced with block and a brick veneer, basically.
So you can still do the block, which is the structural part.
Yeah.
right? So,
And I have the brick left over,
oh, okay.
so,
Oh, so you got enough brick to do it.
yeah, yeah.
Figures.
And then if I just drop the columns down to the ground
Brick in between them?
with brick in between them,
Brick where the panels are.
yeah,
Yeah, in which case the columns could not be wood because brick and wood do not go together well. They always rot out the wood.
Mm.
Well, we've already talked tonight about the material is changing from wood to something more
Composite.
durable.
Right.
So it wouldn't be wood.
what do you mean
touching
by
brick,
like a composite, what is that, is that,
Meaning not
Not
made out of
wood,
lumber.
yeah,
Not made out of wood.
So
cause I know, and then the PVC, you can't really paint black.
It
Because it takes up, it'll just soak up.
It
the
wouldn't be
heat.
PVC.
flakes off.
Yeah,
Yeah, that might take a little research to figure out the material that would be
And if,
have the longevity, but also compatible with the brick.
if the columns came down and you kept brick, what would you do about the end here where you don't show a column?
on that far
I think
left,
that's
Yeah.
already,
Yeah.
isn't that?
There is a column in what we.
Yeah.
approved, But there's not a column
Oh,
because
Yeah,
of
it's
the
just-
different size windows now.
okay, yep, good catch. Yeah, so it kind of framed
Mhm.
the whole storefront from this end to this end, right? And then around the door. Hmm.
Hmm.
And I guess that all sort of, those are the effects of changing the window sizes. Yeah, it would be great if someone could draw it with them going down to the, like how you want it, but after
Mhm.
listening to our comments tonight. If you do want the brick, how would that look?
I mean, I could draw them, I could extend them down on my computer, just.
At least. Well, we thought it was all done, so,
That we did. I think the issue here is the
So
fact
let me-
that this has been a structural change to where that header is based on flashing
Yeah,
has dropped down significantly. And now we're coming up from the ground too. And those two things are compressing
change it.
the complete aesthetic of whether it's windows or plate glass, it doesn't really matter. It all looks too squat,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I mean, the building does
So-
kind of look like that. It's like a small, the tops,
Yeah, but now you're making
top
it,
heavy.
we're accentuating it even further.
Yeah.
So it's not, you don't want to redesign it, that's certainly your prerogative. I don't feel comfortable approving this big of a change without understanding it better. So,
All right, so what if we went back to the original and I just dropped that? Drop the top down.
I mean, I had said
Okay.
that 20 minutes ago, I think that would be great. And then if you have to not have it be wood because
Yeah.
there's concerns over rot, and that's what I think someone said a minute ago, check with your contractor that it's not a structural concern
Yeah.
that you don't have brick. Didn't seem to be one in the first place, so
No.
I can't imagine it is now.
no, because the structure is gonna be the block.
Or the possibility that Davis mentioned of granite veneer versus,
Mm-hmm.
because it would match the wraparound of the building.
Okay.
So I just did a quick little measurement here, and it looks like the whole thing has come down 8 courses of bricks. And what's the height of the brick? You know, offhand,
3
Matt?
inches.
3.5, maybe 4 with the mortar. So 8 times 4, 32 inches. That's how much it's dropped.
I don't think these might not be accurate. It hasn't dropped that much.
Well,
No.
it's a lot. So I don't know. Is he working off these drawings, or is this a whole new set of drawings?
Well, I think these bricks are just, that's just a fill. I don't think that's an accurate,
Okay,
you know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's an
Portrait.
actual sized brick,
okay,
I believe. I don't know, but
all right.
Were these drawn by 2 different architects?
They were.
Because that also then, people are gonna,
yeah.
everyone has a different
So-
style.
That's, all right, there you go.
But it seems that, it sounds like everyone agrees that they really liked the proposed facade that was initially approved.
Right.
Approved.
Right.
So I don't know if that's like, this could be the guiding drawing to
Okay.
go back to the new architect.
I
with,
I would be willing to go back to that and then just, drop it and move forward with it.
Yeah,
Pretend I never came back here.
And then what do you want to do about, you still want to do wood, or do you want to,
For the base,
Yeah.
I would probably go, invest. I would probably look for something other than that, like
yeah. Something that would
hardy
last.
board or whatever.
we would need to approve something though, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So,
We could, and honestly, if you want to take some time and think about it, we could do a special meeting just like we're doing for Corliss.
I think he's tired of coming before
You
this.
know, he
board.
doesn't like us anymore, but special meeting could be.
I was
great.
enjoying it a little while ago.
Um,
When it was a show you liked
It's like, no.
we thought we were done. so-
Well, we all like
Yeah, this
seeing
is getting
both
good.
get beat up a little bit.
Comes with the territory. Okay, so I'll make a motion to continue in this, and you're gonna talk to your architect and see if he can draw this.
And come up with what we're gonna use for the base there.
Match the first plan, bring it down,
Yeah,
And
figure out the base granite veneer versus some composite that you're comfortable, and
okay.
we'll do that,
and try to,
within
If I
72
can
hours.
use- Maybe I can even use what was there. It's gonna get painted, so It's gonna be black.
Well, why would you paint brick? I mean, then you gotta paint it again. Paint's a
Looks
maintenance.
nice.
Well, whatever, we don't have jurisdiction over paint, but as a painter, I'm just saying. Granite, you wouldn't have to paint. Okay, so I make a motion that we continue. You're gonna talk to your architect,
Yeah,
based on the new information that the whole cornice has come down however many inches,
But to match the original.
and to match the original design that was approved as close as possible,
can I keep this?
and come up, yes.
Thank you.
And as quickly as he needs us to do it.
And come up with ideas for long-lasting materials.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
No, sooner.
Or if, yeah,
Okay, special.
or sooner if we have a special
Yeah.
meeting, or if you're ready.
Again, I'll probably come up with drawings pretty quickly.
All right.
Within a day or two.
All right, well, that's my motion until we're ready to meet next time. All right,
Okay.
just leave it at that.
All right.
We're sensitive to your repetition before the board, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That needs to
Some
be
of
every
my-
2 hours, and we'll meet
Yeah.
in 72 hours.
Yeah,
So we have
Okay.
48 posted. You just let us know when you're ready.
all right, thanks, I
Appreciate it.
appreciate it. Yep.
Okay, thank you, John.
Second.
Second, all right,
Second by Carol.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night.
You too.
Good night, thank you.
Okay, what's that? Any comments from board members?
Do we need to keep this package or?
We should.
You
just
wanna
keep everything?
Keep it.
Yeah, we'll
Take it
keep,
back.
everything of his.
Yeah, I'm looking for Dre, being appointed.
Joan's been
Oh,
appointed
you
full-time
moved
member,
it,
save
we-
on the record.
Oh, yes, I would like to welcome our newest full-time member, Joan Colvin,
Thank you.
appointed by the
All right,
council.
let's hold on to these.
We'll hold on to the Estrella drawings until next time.
You wanna pass them down, guys, and they
Yeah.
can add them to
here's
the packet?
63 Main. The rest of it we don't need.
Motion to
And,
adjourn.
So
no-
moved.
No administrative matters to take care of, just making
That's
sure.
it, 9 o'clock.
Everyone
And,
says aye.
Okay, we made a motion, we have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Turn off your mics.